Hey, welcome back. Today I'm showing you how I started the process of making a dragon boat that I totally came up with by accident. So, to start, you want to shift A, and you're going to come down here to the single vert, add single vertices, and this literally just gives you a single vertice to start with. If you don't have it enabled to get to it in the add menu, you want to come down here to preferences, go to add-ons, and type in mesh, or just you even start it. And when this pops up, add mesh extra objects, you're going to click to enable that, and that will add it to your add menu. So from there, with your vertices selected, you want to go into edit mode. You're going to extrude and extrude. Actually, I think when you add the single vertices, it takes you directly into edit mode. If not, just tab into it. Anyways, you're going to want to extrude a few times. Then you're going to want to actually take this and extrude it over. And I shape it like this. This is what's going to be the head, top of the jaw for the dragon boat, the dragon's head, for the decorative part of the dragon boat. And then with this vertice down here, adjust it how you feel comfortable for it to look. Bring this one down and then up to make the bottom jaw. Now, for anybody wondering, how is this going to turn into a dragon boat? Because there's nothing but vertices. There's nothing on it. The little gray stuff that's on there. It's not there. Where'd it go? So, by the way, this is in the new Blender 4.0, and so there's things that are a little bit different than from my other videos because it did update the last time I went to get on here. So over here, under the same thing, the little wrench, click, add modifier. But this time, instead of everything coming up in one big menu, you have these drop-down menus here. So you're going to want to go to generate and then come down to the one that says skin. And that's what we're going to pick. And you see how it adds the skin of what will be the mesh after we convert it. And for those of you, if you want to be able to see inside of it, because it's not technically a mesh yet, you're in edit mode. Normally you would see the vertices, but you can't. Just want to Alt-Z to go into X-ray mode, and you can see everything underneath it. And that will help you while you're still getting everything ready. Because this actually comes in handy for making a lot of things. Like pre-making it, and then just convert it to the mesh, and then you can adjust things using the vertices or the faces or the edges like you would for a normal mesh if you started with a cube, or before you go into sculpting mode. But I actually like this way a lot. I make a lot of things starting this way, but that's a personal thing. Anyhow, so finish making our dragon boat here. You want to E, extrude. This bottom part here is going to be what is the boat part, the body part of the boat. And then about here is where I start to angle it up to make the tail for the boat. Oh, sorry, my mouse keeps getting stuck around this part. And it's starting to irritate me. There we go. And then we're going to extrude it one more time. Actually, no, we're going to undo that. We're just going to leave it. So now, because the end of the tail, we all know that a dragon's tail is pointed. To adjust the size anywhere within within this before you convert it, scale is not the same with this as it would be with a normal mesh. So with a normal mesh, you would go and you would just hit S and you would size it up, and that's how you would make it different sizes. Well, with this one, you're going to Control A. Oh, I hit it wrong. Sorry. Undo. I did it wrong. Sorry. Control A. And then from there, you would adjust the size however you want to. So like I said, if I want to point the tail, So now he's got a pointy tail. And then, just going to adjust that real quick because I'm actually not liking that. Okay, there we go. So you can select everything the normal way, A, or you can also Control L. Like let's say you had this here, just the one selected, and you Control L and it will actually select all of it. But I actually don't want that, so I need to scale the middle part, go up here to top view, and size that just a little bit wider. Now, for the rest of it, you can scale it in the same way that you would with scale. So if you Control A, Z, or X, or Y, or Z, or whichever way that you need to adjust it. So, if you're wondering, I always have a hard time remembering which way scales which way. So, I apologize in advance. But yeah, I kind of want it like that just to make the body part of the boat. Actually, I'm not loving that. Let's go about like that. Okay. And then, so depending on when you get done, how you want to do it, if you're wanting to add any extra stuff, like using the faces or the vertices or the edges, one thing that will help make sure you have enough topology. I think that's the word for it. I always get the words confused. I'm so sorry. Just add a subdivision surface modifier. And then, again, just adjust it from there based on how you want. So personally, because I like to see how I want to add like other stuff in first. Like I have a set of wing sails that I actually put in here. So I just leave it down at a low level 1 in the subdivision surface modifier. That way I have time to play with everything and adjust it. And then before I go into sculpting mode is when I add one more to make it completely smooth. But we'll get to that. Sorry. Jumping ahead of myself. Anywho. Okay, so for now, we're going to call this done. It's shaped at least. I'm going to go a few last minute adjustments just because right now is going to be the best time to do it. Because one thing about it I've noticed is a little bit easier to adjust how you want things prior with this way. It's a little bit easier to adjust it and make it just how you want it before you convert it to the mesh. Because after you convert it, it's going to be just like a normal mesh with a whole bunch of vertices and edges and faces, and it's not quite as easy to adjust. So, alright, so I'm going to call this good for now, just for the sake of not taking forever. So you're going to tab back into object mode, and you can Alt-Z to go back out of X-ray mode and see what it looks like. And this is just going to kind of show you a rough idea of what your topology will look like after you convert it, roughly. So then you're going to come up here where it says object. You want to go down and convert and then mesh. And what that does is, obviously, it converts the whole thing to a mesh, but it also applies all of the modifiers that you put on there. So instead of having to go over and Control A or hit apply on each one, when you convert it, it just does the whole thing. So I like that. And then from here, like I was saying, go into edit mode, and if you're gonna do anything with the faces or the edges, this would be the time when you would go in there and make adjustments on it as you want to prior to sculpting mode, but we're going to do that in another video. So for now, this is just a little bit of know-how on how to use the skin modifier with the single vertices add-on, and this is the start of our boat. So tune in for part 2, where I add the sail / wings, wing sails, whatever you want to call them, and then after that we'll do a third video where we're going to show you how I sculpt and add like the teeth and the whiskers and the horns and all that stuff, because this is actually like one of my favorite things to do. I'm not even going to lie to you. I love making it. So stay tuned for the next part. Thanks for joining in. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys later.